Keeper of the Lost Cities, Exile, Chapter 30. You're really still going to make me dance? Sophie whined as Adeline handed her the stupid opening ceremony's costume to change into. Why? Why did she let Elwyn tell everyone she was 100% recovered when he checked her that morning? She should have asked him for a get out of dressing like an elephant free card. Being part of the mascot dance and Foxfire opening ceremonies is a tremendous honor, Sophie, Adeline told her. Tonight will be a night you'll remember for the rest of your life. Oh, she had no doubt about that. She just had a feeling it would go down in history as the night Sophie Foster tripped on her trunk and fell on her face in front of the entire Elwyn world. But Adeline looked so proud and excited, and it would be nice to do something fun with the family for a change. Plus, she'd get to see Alden again. Elwyn had assured her that he was completely healed, and Fitz had told her the same thing when she'd tried reaching him with Imparter that morning. But she needed to see him for herself, with no more gash on his forehead or burn on his skin. Then she'd really know he was okay. She didn't argue too much as Adeline left her to get ready. She tried pulling back part of her hair and even put on one of the lip glosses Biana had given her. But Iggy still made a snickering sound when she put on her costume. Sophie was glad her mirror wasn't a spectral mirror. Bertina would have quite a lot to say if she could have seen her in all her floppy-eared glory. Her furry feet made it even harder to walk as she climbed the stairs to the Leap Master, and she slipped on the smooth surf floor, landing on her butt with a thud. At least the costume had some extra padding to cushion the fall. "You're going to love this," Grady told her as he rushed to help her. Somehow she doubted love was ever going to be a word to describe this process, but it was nice to see a smile on Grady's face again. He looked almost regal, with his amber-brown cape clasped at the base of his neck with the Reuben crest. Adeline stood beside him, looking like a Disney princess in her long amber-encrusted gown and silky cape. It really wasn't fair that they got to look stylish and elegant and she had to look like a shaggy elephant. Even Sandor had changed into amber-brown pants. "Does he really have to come?" Sophie whinnied. "Thousands of people are going to be there. There's no way the kidnappers are going to try anything." "One can never be sure of such things," Sandor corrected. "It is just as possible that they could decide the chaos of a crowd is the perfect opportunity to make their move, and I'm not going to allow that risk. You're not leaving my side again, except for your performance, of course." "Are you sure that's safe? Maybe I should sit with you on the sidelines." Grady laughed. "Nice try, kiddo. You're dancing." Sophie glowered at the ground. Sandor handed her a flat golden disc about the size of a human penny. "I assume you have a pocket hidden somewhere in that fur. Keep that inside it." There were dozens of pockets running down each of her legs, which Sophie thought was strange, but she hesitated before slipping the disc into one. "What is it?" "A tracking device. I've had them sewn into all of your permanent clothes, but not your costume since you'll be returning it." He'd put tracker in her clothes? How many different ways was she being watched? She was tempted to fling the tracker back at him and insist they be removed from the rest of her things, but it wasn't worth the fight. At least not that night. "Whoa," Sophie whispered as the Foxfire buildings glittered into focus. A vibrant orange F glowed across the glass pyramid, casting a fiery haze over the entire campus. Thin blue strands of light hung like luminous icicles in all the trees and dangled from the garlands that were draped across the main building. But the most striking effect was the glowing green mushrooms blanketing every inch of the grassy fields. Sophie smiled, remembering how much she teased Fitz about attending a school named after glowing fungus. Now they were decorating with it. The mushrooms were as big as a feet, and Sophie crouched to get a closer look. "I thought bioluminescent plants only grew in caves." "They usually do," Grady said as he crouched beside her. "But they are a special type of mushroom the gnomes cultivate just for this event." Sophie stood, squinting at the F on the pyramid, which seemed to shift between orange and yellow. Is that fungus too? It's kind of a mold, actually. And the blue lights are a rare type of glowworm. What? Don't worry, they are far too busy eating the mandible leaves they are dangling from, Adeline promised. And they're harmless anyway. But why are they here? The glowing fungus, she understood. Sort of. But worms? Grady laughed. Bioluminescent light is the only natural light in the deepest, darkest places on this earth. And Foxfire Academy is all about training our future generations to shine just as boldly. What better way to mark the start of a new school than by lighting a path with their special kind of glow? Sophie was tempted to point out that worms and fungus didn't seem all that special, but when she took another look, the campus really was breathtaking, even if it did make her skin crawl. She kept toward the center of the path as they wound their way past the outbuildings to the main auditorium, and Sandor placed his meaty hand on her shoulder as they walked. For once she didn't mind. The black capes the level 1 parents were wearing made it all too easy to imagine the kidnappers wandering among them. The crowd gathered along the edge of the round courtyard in front of the auditorium's entrance. All the bushes that lined the circle had been twisted and trimmed into the 6 levels mascot, and lit with more glowworms. The mastodon was by far the largest, and Sophie couldn't help feeling a bit proud to be a level 3, especially when she saw how ridiculous all the other costumes were too. The Germans had black noses and furry gloves, and the Halcyons had blue feathered arms and red beaks, and the dragons had leathery green bodysuits with spikes running down their backs, and the saber-toothed tigers had long red-orange striped tails and pointed white fangs hanging from their hoods, right next to their eyes. But the worst was the Yetis, in their head-to-toe bushy white fur. Sophie tried to find her friends, but with the shadows and the costumes it was impossible to tell who was who. Maybe that was the point. No one was popular or unpopular, important or unimportant. They were all just Foxfire prodigies, waiting to start the next year. The chimes rang with the same fanfare Sophie remembered hearing in Eternalia, and as everyone fell silent, the 12 councillors appeared in all of their finery in the center of the courtyard. The crowd erupted with applause, though Sophie noticed that several of the adults around her didn't clap, and each councillor was flanked by 2 bodyguards. Welcome to the beginning of another year at Foxfire, Councillor Emery announced, raising his arms. We fully expect this year will be the greatest year the Academy has ever seen, and we look forward to watching all of the greatness unfold. Maybe they should spend less time watching and more time actually doing something for a change, someone near Sophie whispered, and someone else nodded in agreement. Maybe then we wouldn't have to worry about our children being taken. We understand things have been a bit uncertain in recent weeks, Councillor Emery continued, almost like he'd heard the murmurings. And we want to assure you that we are working tirelessly to restore the peace and order we've enjoyed for millennia. Our world has changed. But change is not always a bad thing. When we resolve the situation, and it will be resolved, our world will be stronger, smarter, more prepared for whatever else time may throw our way. Make no mistake that we will endure this unrest and bring an end to this rebellions. There was a smattering of applause, but Sophie suspected it wasn't the resounding celebration the council was hoping for. She could see Bronte's scowl deepen, even in the dim light. We also have some other news, which we suspect you will find most encouraging, Councillor Emery added, his voice booming even louder. Some of you may have already heard the rumors about the timeline being reset, and we are happy to confirm tonight that the rumors are indeed true. A second alicorn has been discovered, a healthy, magnificent female. The collective gasps made Sophie smile. If they only knew how stinky and annoying Sylvie could be. though she was extremely grateful for the peaceful night of sleep Sylvie had given her. The remarkable creature is currently in the process of being rehabilitated, but we are confident she will be moved to the sanctuary soon, Councillor Emery continued, and we will prepare her to bring forth not just a new life for her species, but a new hope to our world, a promise of restoration, a promise of survival. This time, the cheering and applause was so loud it hurt Sophie's ears. Maybe she was imagining it, but the councillor's smiles looked relieved as Councillor Emery promised an update soon and welcomed them once again to the opening ceremonies. And now, he added, stepping back in line with the other councillors, let us celebrate our future. The councillors flashed away amid more applause. Then another chime sounded, and the intricate golden doors to the main auditorium slowly parted, bathing the crowd in the yellow glow from inside. Dame Melina stepped onto the landing and smiled at the crowd as she smoothed in the silky fabric of her elaborate orange cape and gown. She tossed her dark wavy hair and raised her hands to quiet everyone. Lords and ladies, sirs and madams, parents and prodigies, as Foxfire's principal, it is my great honor to welcome all of you to tonight's festivities. Let the Foxfire opening ceremonies begin.